Welcome students, myself NK Thukral from Edgepedia World. I have been discussing on business finance, sources of business finance. In the previous session, I had discussed on loans from commercial banks and public deposits. Today I will talk on trade credit and other sources of business finance, means borrowed funds. Now let me tell you what is trade credit. I think everybody must be knowing it's a very simple word, trade. Trade means any business. Credit means credit extended by one business to another. Trade credit is the credit extended by one trader to another. Exactly what is the concept? The amount of days for which a credit is given is determined by the company allowing the credit and is agreed upon by both the company allowing the credit and the company receiving it. On the one side, one company is giving credit, other company is receiving it. With the extension of the payment date, the company receiving the credit could sell the goods and use the net proceeds to pay back the debt. So that means the difference is that is credit. This type of credit is sometimes given to encourage sales also. At times, a supplier may give a discount if the customer pays within a certain period of time. For example, a 2% discount if the payment is received within 10 days of issuing 30-day credit. Normally 30-day credit is given, suppose, and the company may say that if you give me within 10 days the payment, I will give you 2% discount. That sort of trade credit is given for the balance period. So trade credit applies to business trade and has been an essential way for businesses to finance short-term growth. Vendors or suppliers do not typically extend trade credit to businesses. They have yet to establish good credit or have not proven that they are able to make payments on time. However, trade credit is a useful option for businesses to receive supplies crucial to growth without paying immediately. So this is the concept of trade credit and background of trade credit. Now what exactly is the definition? Trade credit is the credit extended by one trader to another for purchase of goods and services. Trade credit facilitates the purchase of supplies without immediate payment. It is also known as mercantile credit. Now let's see what are the features of trade credit. Number one is short-term financing. It is commonly used as a source of short-term financing for a period ranging from 15 days to 90 days. Another feature is no interest payable. No interest is payable on trade credit. Simply, credit period is allowed by one company to another company. Basis of funding. It is based on financial strength and goodwill of the buyer and the customer of the trade. That is a basis. Basis means financial strength and goodwill of the buyer is most important for one company. Another is accounting. Trade credit appears in the records of the buyer of the goods as sundry creditors or accounts payable. As you can see in the balance sheet, they will be given sundry creditors or accounts payable. Those are the trade credit means that is payable by the another party. Another is period of credit. The volume and period of credit extended depends on the following factors, means reputation of the purchasing firm, financial position of the seller, volume of purchases to be made by the buyer, past record of payment and degree of competition in the market. Trade credit may vary from one industry to another and from one person to another. A firm may also offer different credit terms to different customers. So accordingly, it depends upon the market also, it depends upon the reputation of the company also, it depends upon the volume of purchases also. So these are the factors which involve of allowing the period of credit. Let's see what are the merits of trade credit. Number one is easy source of financing. It is a convenient and continuous source of finance as it does not require any legal formalities or any processing. Next is ready availability. Trade credit is readily available to credit-worthy firms. There is no problem by allowing credit to that company. Another is promote sales. Trade credit helps to promote the sales of an organization also. Another is assist in raising inventory levels. Trade credit can be used to finance the increase in inventory of goods if the organization expects higher sales in the future also. Another feature is no charge on assets. there is no need for creating any sort of charge against firm's assets for obtaining trade credit. It is as simple as anything. Now students, these are the merits of trade credit. Let us see what are the limitations also. Number one limitation is risk of overtrading. Sometimes for availing the trade credit, overtrading is done. The availability of easy and flexible trade credit facilities may induce a firm into overtrading, which may add to the risk of the firm also. Another is limited funds. It can generate only limited amount of funds for a short period. It is not for the longer period. Costly. The cost of trade credit is generally high as compared to other sources. While selling the goods, the seller fixes the selling price after considering the interest, risk, inconvenience attached to the credit sales. So this is what the limitation is. Then another source of financing is intercorporate deposit. Intercorporate deposit means deposit by one company from another company. It is an unsecured borrowing by corporates and financial institutions from other corporate entities registered under the Company Act 2013. The corporate having surplus funds would lend to another corporate in need of funds. That's why it is called intercorporate deposits. What is the definition of intercorporate deposits? An unsecured borrowings by corporates from other corporates registered under the company. Main things are that one is unsecured borrowings by one corporate and from other corporate which is registered under the company. What are the important points of corporate deposits? Having surplus funds would lend to another corporate in need of funds. ICDs are generally considered by the borrowers to solve problems of short-term capital inadequacy. Interest rates are higher than bank rate as intercorporate deposit in an unsecured borrowing. That's why rates are higher. The range of interest rates varies further depending upon the quantum, tenure, and the credit rating of the borrower. These are the important ingredients of intercorporate deposits. Now students, let's see what are the type of intercorporate deposits. Call deposits, 3-month deposit, 6-month deposit. What is call deposit? Such a deposit can be withdrawn by the lender by giving a 1-day notice. The interest rate on call deposit is around 10% per annum. Second is 3-month deposit. These are the most popular type of ICDs and are generally considered by the borrowers to solve problems of short-term capital inadequacy. The rate of interest on 3 months deposit is normally 12% per annum. Another type of corporate deposit is 6-month. These deposits are usually made with first-class borrowers for a term of 6 months. The rate of interest for such deposits is 15% per annum. As you can see, for call deposit it is 10%, for 3 months it is 12% or so, and for 6 months 15% so. As the duration is long, interest rate is higher. So these are the types of intercorporate deposits. That depends when one company needs money from the other corporate and what is the purpose of deposits. What are the merits of intercorporate deposits? Number one merit is free from hassles and legal issues. The biggest advantage of intercorporate deposits is that transaction is free from bureaucratic and legal hassles because it is between the one corporate to the another corporate and as per Companies Act guidelines. Next advantage is maintain secrecy. Here the secrecy is well maintained. The brokers in this market never reveal the list of lenders and borrowers as it is believed that in the absence of secrecy, rate of interest will fall abruptly. So fluctuation of rate may arise if the secrecy is leaked out. Another advantage is working capital requirement. Intercorporate deposits are good source of finance to overcome the problem of shortage of working capital because it's a very short term period like for 3 months, 6 months or so. So these are the merits of intercorporate deposits. Now students, let's see what are the disadvantages of intercorporate deposits. Number one is not suitable for long-term financing. Intercorporate deposit cannot be used for long-term financing as they are available for short-term only. That is the main objective of intercorporate deposit, means short-term deposit. Another is unsecured. High level of risk is involved as intercorporate deposit is an unsecured deposit made by one company with another company. Another demerit is high interest rates. intercorporate deposits attract high interest rate as compared to other instruments of financing. As you can see, even for a call deposit it is a 10%, whereas in the market it may be lesser. For 3 months is 12% and 6 months is 15%. So higher interest rates are one of the major disadvantages of intercorporate deposits. Now students, we have covered various sources of funding, borrowed funds and other funds. All sources we have discussed. Now let us see, if a business needs money, what he has to choose, what he has to keep in mind while choosing a specific source of funding. What are the factors affecting the choice of source of funds? Financial requirement of a business are of various types. As you are aware, long-term, short-term, fixed and fluctuating. Hence, business firms route to many types of sources for raising funds. Short-term borrowings offer the advantage of reduced cost owing to reduction of idle capital, but long-term borrowings are considered as an inevitable requirement on many grounds. Correspondingly, equity share has a vital role to play under long-term funding. As we are aware, no source of fund is devoid of limitation. It is sensible to use a combination of sources rather than relying only on a single source. You should not go only for a shares, equity share funding or debentures, bonds or public deposit. You have to see what have you in mind, what is your requirement, short term, long term, and what is the interest rate, what are the other factors. So there are numerous factors listed below that affect the choice of this combination and make it a very complex decision for the business. Number one factor is cost. Here we look at two types of cost, that is the cost of procurement of funds and cost of utilizing the funds. Means procurement of fund costing and utilization. Both we have to see. Both these costs should be taken into consideration while deciding about the source of fund used by an organization. Another factor is financial strength and stability of operations. The financial strength of a business also serves as a key determinant. While making the choice of source of funds, business should be financially sound so that company is able to repay the principal amount and interest on the borrowed amount. When the income financial position of the organization is not stable, fixed charge funds like preference share or debenture should be carefully selected as these odds the financial burden of the organization. So financial strength and stability, these are the two very important factors needs to be seen of a company. Another is form of organization and legal status. The legal status and form of business organization influences the choice of source fund very much. For example, non-corporate entities like sole proprietorship, partnership, etc. cannot raise money through shares and debentures. On the other hand, joint stock companies prefer issue of shares and debentures for finance. So that form of the organization also has to see which route they have to take. Another factor is purpose and time period. Business should plan based on the time period for which the funds are utilized. A short-term need, for example, can be dealt by borrowing funds at low rate of interest through trade credit, commercial paper, etc. Whereas for long-term finance, sources such as issue of shares, debentures are more opposite. Correspondingly, the main purpose for which funds are required need to be analyzed very carefully so that source is matched with the utilization of the same. Another factor affecting is risk profile. The risk associated with different sources of finance is different. For example, loan is more risky as interest payment and return of principal is obligatory. On the other hand, equity shares are less risky because of no such compulsion. So business should evaluate the risk involved with each source before taking any financing. Another factor is control. It means the control of a company lies with the equity shareholder as they are the real owners. If the existing shareholders want to retain effective control, then more debt should be used. On the other hand, a public issue of equity will reduce the control of existing shareholders. However, in certain cases, debt financing may also influence control of the company if lenders have imposed any such condition in the loan agreement. Next factor affecting the choice is effect on credit worthiness. The creditworthiness in the market is affected by the dependence of business on certain sources. For example, issuance of secured debentures might affect the interest of unsecured creditors of the company and develop chances for an adverse effect and their willingness to extend further loans as credit to them. So this is another important factor as how the effect is there on the creditworthiness. Another factor is flexibility. I mean to say flexibility and with ease. One another aspect affecting the choice of source of finance is flexibility and ease in availing funds. Restrictive provisions, detailed investigation, analysis, and documentation in case of borrowing from bank and financial institution could be the reason for a business organization to avoid it if other options are readily available. So simplicity is also one of the important factors for a business house. Another factor is tax benefits. Various other sources may also be weighed with respect to the tax benefits. For example, as the dividend on preference share is not tax deductible, interest paid on debentures and loan is tax deductible and may for this reason opt for seeking tax advantage. So this is advantages for the company also when taxes are concerned. So this is another factor one company needs to see before choosing borrowing from the other sources. Thank you. Bye bye.